What's up guys, Mixology Matt here, your favorite Toronto mixologist. Today we are making the sour. It is probably the biggest test for any bartender. The name of the game is all about balance. I'm going to show you the classic template, how to make it your own, the common do's and don'ts, and my personal favorite variation. Let's go. Now it's time to build our sour cocktail. The recipe is super simple. We're gonna follow this easy template. 2 ounce spirit, 3/4 ounce citrus, 3/4 ounce sweet. What you choose to be those ingredients is fully up to you. I'll show you how to mess around later in the video. For this classic demonstration, I'm gonna use Pisco as our spirit base because who doesn't like a Pisco Sour? It wouldn't be a sour cocktail without our fresh citrus, so I'm gonna be using a fresh lemon here. Usually a half lemon will get the job done, but essentially we're gonna measure this out into our jigger. We're gonna measure 3/4 of an ounce depending on our lemon, and that is perfect. We're always gonna use fresh lemon juice because using the store-bought alternative is just not gonna cut it. And is one of the most common mistakes that you can do in a sour. And there's a few more that I'm gonna explain right after this. So 3/4 of an ounce of our fresh lemon juice. To balance out our citrus, we're gonna do 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup. In we go. Now, one of the most common and unique things with any sour cocktail is going to be an emulsifier. A lot of people use egg whites. However, I like using Miss Better Bitter's Miraculous Foamer. It's 100% vegan and it will definitely not have that egg smell, which is sometimes can be the problem unless you're cracking your eggs fresh. So 1 dasher of this is gonna replace our egg white here. And that is all we need. And it's gonna create a beautiful foamy texture for our sour cocktail. Before we add in our spirit, we have our saline solution. The salt is really gonna help balance out those flavors and really make them pop in our cocktail. 2 drops of our 20% saline solution. Now for the star of the show, we have Pisco. It is a South American brandy product made from grapes. Very similar to cognac, but it is made exclusively in either Chile or Peru. It has a very interesting flavor profile. If you had never tried it, I highly recommend giving it a go. So now we're gonna do 2 ounces of our Pisco. I find Pisco as a nice element. You're really gonna taste some of those botanicals associated with the grape flavor, especially depending on the Pisco. It's always worth it. If you've never had Pisco, I just think it's gonna really bring this cocktail to another level. So one of the things we're gonna do, because we added in the emulsifier, we're gonna dry shake first. So I'm gonna put on my shaker tin. When I say dry shake, we always want to make sure that we're shaking without ice, and that's gonna help the emulsifier foam up ahead of time and give us the perfect foam. When we're dry shaking, we don't have to go for too long, 4 to 5 seconds. Should come out pretty easily. We take a look, it's got already a beautiful froth happening. Now it's time to add our ice. So now we're gonna close up our tin. Common mistake is sometimes people will shake too long or they'll build their cocktail with the ice already in the shaker. You always wanna add the ice last because the ice would have already started to melt. Now it's time to strain. We want to double strain because there is some citrus pulp in here and ice shards, so we want to get a nice double strain. For our garnish, we're going to do what's known as like the bitter hearts. So I've got Angostura bitters in a bit of a dropper bottle here. And I'm going to make 3 to 4 dots. We'll add a few more. We'll go all the way around. We're gonna have little drops around our glass here. And I'm gonna take a cocktail pick. I'm just gonna run it right through, and it creates this beautiful heart right onto our cocktail. And there you have it. That is our Pisco Sour. It's a great introduction to Pisco if you've never tried it before. This cocktail is gonna have everything that you want. The sweet, the sour, that nice froth from the vegan foamer. Definitely worth trying. I highly recommend ordering one at your next cocktail bar. I promise you won't regret it. Now that we made our Pisco Sour, here are my top 5 common mistakes that I normally see when people make sours. Number 1, using bottled citrus from the grocery store. It's made from concentrate, it's way too hard to balance. Fresh is always king, and it's always gonna have a better cocktail in the end. Put in the elbow work, you won't regret it. Mistake number 2, don't overshake your cocktail. No one wants a watery sour, keep it at 10 to 15 seconds. Mistake number 3, if you're using an emulsifier, dry shaking is necessary. If you don't dry shake, you're not gonna add that nice frothy texture that we all want with our sours. Mistake number 4, not balancing the citrus and the sweet. The name of the game for sours is all about balance. It's the bartender's test for a reason. You wanna work at a bar, they're probably gonna ask you to make a daiquiri as part of your interview. So balance is key, don't fuck it up. And the final mistake is not double straining. When you shake a cocktail, the ice is gonna break and chip, creating small ice shards, and a Hawthorne strainer might not catch all of it. So that's why we double strain to make sure we have the best possible texture and the best drinking experience. And there you have it. Those are my top 5 common mistakes when making a sour. If I missed any, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. You made it to the end of the video. So now I'm gonna show you one of my cool variations on a sour. We're gonna be using rum. So we're gonna be making a daiquiri. However, not just any old rum. I did a sage coconut infused Havana Club. Very unique. It's gonna have a very interesting flavor profile. If you wanna see the full recipe of my infusion of the rum, let me know in the comment section and I can make a bigger video on how I did that. Now we're gonna start building our cocktail. It wouldn't be a daiquiri without fresh lime juice. So let's go ahead and cut some. I got my lime here, give it a nice slice. Half a lime is about half an ounce, but I want 3/4 of an ounce. So we're gonna measure this one out. Let's see how far we get. Ooh, okay, I got exactly 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice. That's perfect. We're gonna put that all away. For our next ingredient, I've got Demerara syrup. Brown sugar syrup is gonna really add a nice rich boldness and a nice caramel flavor that's gonna complement the coconut and the sage very nicely. 3/4 of an ounce of our Demerara syrup. Now, I have some homemade ginger tincture. The ginger spice is gonna really complement some of these other flavors and add a nice hit of heat in this drink that's gonna make this a little bit more complex and leave a long finish. So we're gonna do 2 or 3 drops of our ginger tincture. You know, let's go a few more for good luck. As always, all the cocktails uses saline solution. The salt really helps in all cocktails. I highly recommend making it. It's a 20% saline solution. We're gonna add 2 drops into our drink right now. And the star of the show, we have a sage and coconut infused Havana Club 3-year. It's gonna add a really unique funk to our classic daiquiri template. 2 ounces of our infused rum. Since we are making a daiquiri, I'm not gonna be adding in any of the foamer or an egg white, so no emulsification. We're not gonna dry shake this time. Now, time to shake our cocktail. One extra tip, if you're having difficulty opening your shaker, you can give it a nice clap and that will help open the cocktail lid and it just comes off much easier that way. We're going to double strain our daiquiri into our nice coupe glass. Really get it all out there. Beautiful. And for our garnish, I've got a nice dehydrated lime and we're just going to rest it on the side, let it sink in. And there you have it. This is my unique take on a daiquiri. If you really want to mess around, I highly recommend infusing your own spirits with some herbs or some spices to really add another dimension to your favorite cocktails. I'm Mixology Matt. I don't make drinks, I make smiles. Cheers.